welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland from Scorebook Live, Mississippi, joined as always by my co-host and playing partner, Rick Cleveland of Mississippi Today fame. Dad, how was your weekend?
Weekend was fine. How was yours?
Rainy. It was super rainy. As you know, we tried to play golf on Sunday and got a good 9 holes in before we left to go watch the Open.
We did. We need to talk about the Open.
Yeah, I mean, well,
we got several things we need to cover today, but we should start with the Open. Used to be called the British Open. Now it's just the Open.
The Open Championship.
Your guy,
Xander Schauffele's hot. It's the year of Xander.
Well, it started
so hot right now.
It started when you picked him, even though he had never won,
to win the U.S. Open.
And of course, he did.
Well,
I ridiculed you, said, well, he's always close, but he never gets there. Now he's gotten there twice, and it seems like he may get a whole lot more of them.
He very well might. He's a versatile player. What struck me on Sunday, of course, I think you could argue that he won the tournament on Saturday when he shot 3 under, I think, when everybody else was. I mean, he got in the clubhouse, and I remember I was watching with a buddy of mine, and when he finished at 3 under, I said, I think that score is going to look a whole lot better like 2 hours from now. And that's exactly what happened, because my guy Dan Brown faltered down the stretch on Saturday. You
just like Dan Brown because he was chain smoking while he played.
And taking selfies with people, and I had never heard. He just looks like a dude.
I was pulling for him too.
Yeah, I mean, you knew he wasn't going to be there on Sunday. You just kind of have to enjoy it on Saturday. So anyway, no, I felt like that Saturday round really propelled him, and then the confidence with which he swung the putter on Sunday was pretty incredible. Schauffele, that is. I mean, he played. He was lights out putting the ball. He either made it or burned the edge for the entire back nine, and was basically uncatchable at that point.
He seemed impervious to pressure. I mean, he did everything right.
Well, and here's what you need to know about him is that maybe you could say now you could call him a closer, whereas before you couldn't. But he had been playing that well before that. I think what you're seeing with the Open and then this is that he hasn't had to outduel Scotty. You know what I mean? They haven't been in a neck and neck thing where they outdueled each other and at least not in this last year. Scotty didn't play well for much of the weekend.
Scotty didn't putt well.
Yeah, well, that was his tee to green. Whew. Yeah, including the 3-wood. We got to talk about number 17 at some point over there. It was ridiculous. I saw on Saturday in the morning, Sungwoo Kim made an ace at 17, and it is a 235-yard par 3. Yeah. Which is long.
And it was playing into the wind.
Which is huge there, as you can attest. And so he makes a hole-in-one with a 4-iron at 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Well, by that afternoon, by the time Scotty hit a 3-wood to it, and then by the late afternoon in the last groups was Shane Lowry and Dan Brown, and both of them hit driver short. Yeah. Of a 235-yard par 3 because of the wind and the rain. It was just it made for some really compelling golf on Saturday, and I really enjoyed it.
People who've never played links golf in Scotland or Ireland or England, where the wind whips off in this case, the Clyde of Firth, or was with Firth of Clyde, whatever it is.
The fifth of Firth. I have no idea what the hell it is.
Well, at any rate, when the wind blows, it's unbelievable. I mean, in Ireland, I was playing Royal County Down in Northern Ireland, which is the hardest golf course I've ever played, seen, or ever want to see. But on one hole, I had a 50-mile-an-hour wind behind me. It was a 565-yard par 5, and I hit driver and 5-iron and had a 15-foot eagle putt. The next hole was a 165-yard par 3, and I hit a 3-iron, nutted it, and it was short. I mean, it's just, people don't understand. I mean, you're talking about 4 and 5 club wins.
Yeah, when you make the turn, you really make a turn.
Oh man! Yeah.
And what was crazy about that place, I noticed it was with you, seemed to be the wind with you on the way out and against you on the way in. And it produced some pretty funny looking scorecards. But there was nothing wrong with Schauffele's scorecard on Sunday. When the conditions were good, he shot better than anybody else. And he,
Well, on Saturday, when par was probably 75 and a half, he shot 67, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, 68.
So, I mean, I think I can't believe the majors are already over for the year, but I mean, it's definitely Xander Schauffele's year. I mean, I think, like I said, he had been playing that well for a while, and I think finally Scotty didn't just run away with something. You know what I mean? It was just, there wasn't this dominating performance from Scotty Scheffler that we had seen that had ruined a couple other, really good starts for Xander. So, I think Scotty coming back to earth, I know it's fun to watch him win, but him coming back to earth, is probably better for golf than, you know what I mean? Unless you want another, Tiger Woods who absolutely dominates everything for like 12, 15 years.
Yeah.
I just think it's a better product when we got more good players playing, and I think obviously Xander and Scotty going back and forth will be a huge storyline the rest of this PGA Tour season and then going into next year's majors.
Agreed. On to a, not nearly as pleasing subject, the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a team go through what they're going through this year? I mean, with injuries and stuff?
I mean,
no.
I know it felt that way with the Saints. If you recall the season, I guess it was it 2 years ago that they started, was it like 7 or 8 different guys at quarterback? You remember that?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like for the Braves, but I've never heard of a team losing so many, and not just so many, but the marquee guys.
All-stars.
The core.
MVPs. Cy Youngs. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, you lose the 2 best pitchers, best player, second baseman. It's mind-boggling. And, they're still only, 8.5 games behind the Phillies?
They are. They're not going to be catching the Phillies, though. They're 8.5 back. The Braves are 54-45, which is, just manager of the year territory for Snitker. Although, I know there's a lot of Braves fans out there that want to lay everything at his feet. The injuries are outrageous. So let's just run down. I mean, you mentioned a couple of positions, but we're talking about former NL Rookie of the Year Michael Harris.
Yeah.
Reigning MVP Ronald Acuna Jr., who's coming off one of the best seasons in MLB history. For extensive amounts of time, I have lost Ozzie Albies. Now again, the second baseman, all-star second baseman. Spencer Strider, who could have been primed for a Cy Young season. We certainly thought so. Could have won it last year.
Could have won it last year, yeah.
And now Max Fried on the shelf. The Braves, probably their best, outside of Strider, maybe their best homegrown talent.
Yeah.
So at least on the mound,
catcher.
They missed Sean Murphy for large parts of the season. Glad to have him back now. But I mean, you add all that up, and you think, how can this team be competitive? But the pitching has. I mean, the rest of the guys that have stepped up pitching wise. I mean, the 2 big acquisitions, Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez. If they had not made those 2 moves in the offseason, well, it would be. They would be calling up guys left and right. The only bright spot, and there really isn't one. I don't know why I'm even pretending.
I want to see where you're going with that.
Pretending is some guys that I was interested to see how they would translate are getting a shot. Specifically, Nacho Alvarez Jr. I mean, I want to see what he can do. Now, he just got called up, I think started yesterday. We're recording this on Tuesday. It was Monday.
He hit the ball hard. He just hit. They made great plays on a couple balls he hit. And I tell you what's amazing about him. He started the year in Pearl with the Mississippi Braves. Got elevated, 6 weeks ago to Gwinnett, and it suddenly became a power hitter.
Yeah, I want to say he had 7.
He had 0 home runs in Mississippi. He had 7 in Gwinnett.
Yeah, and I want to say he had 7 extra base hits and in over 100. What was that? Not 100 games. I want to say it was like 180 ABs in Mississippi, and then 14 extra base hits in just under a
far fewer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So interested to see what he can do. Some of the young pitching has looked really good. So I think the future is bright. The problem is right now the Phillies are very good, and they're not going to. I was picking on somebody the other day. I told him, I sent him a message. I said, all it took for the Phillies to finally win this division was, and then I listed all of the injuries that we just talked about. Also, what's not getting talked about as much, our boy Austin Riley, the Mississippi-born third baseman for the Braves, is having a down year. So is first baseman Matt Olson.
He's having a horrible year.
Yeah, and Austin started slower and has kind of gotten better. He's hitting the ball hard now, but he's going to fall well short of what you would have expected his numbers to be based on the past couple of years.
What about the shortstop? He's a black hole in the
lineup. Shortstop?
He still plays a good shortstop, but he can't hit.
Arcia, Orlando Arcia. And for a while there, they were content to let him kind of find his way at the plate because you knew in his numbers in the past suggested that this was an aberration, and they were just going to give him time to find himself at the plate, especially considering that every other position on the field was occupied by a potential all-star. Yeah. But that is not the case anymore. I will say this. How about Marcell Ozuna? The best hitter on the team.
One of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah, well, he's second in the National League, only behind Shohei Ohtani, I believe, in home runs. Has really just kind of come into his own at a really odd time for if everybody had been healthy and Ozuna had been this hot, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you could go ahead and pencil them in on chasing down the Phillies. But it is just, they don't have the team to do it right now. And plus the Phillies, like I said, are very good. So it's going to be a long rest of the year, I think, in Atlanta. I do think they'll probably make the playoffs, which is insane.
You told me that yesterday. I'm not so sure. They'll make some moves. And they're 4 games ahead in the wild card. So they might make it. They might not.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be like I said. Some of the younger guys are playing, if they play up to their potential and prove that they belong at the major league level, I think they will. Well, Dad, I'm kind of shifting gears a little bit. I know we got a couple things coming up. I saw you, by the way. I saw your post on Twitter from the Blues Marker ceremony at Hal and Mal's yesterday or Monday. Why don't you tell the listeners about that? Because that seemed like a pretty cool event.
Well, Hal and Mal's, which has championed Mississippi blues music for 40 years, got a Blues Marker yesterday right out in front on Commerce Street. You grew up there, so
I did grow up there.
I'm just proud for Malcolm. Makes me remember Hal. White, the White brothers who started Hal and Mal's, just what they've meant to Jackson and the quality of life here. Hal and Mal's St. Patty's Day Parade, the music.
The entire decade of the 80s?
Yeah, it just but you made some snide comment about my shoes. What was that about?
I sent that to you in a text message. I did not say that publicly, but yes, you should. Whatever shoes you were wearing in that photo, you should throw them away there. I know this is an audio medium, so people can't see.
They're black Skechers.
Yeah, you say Skechers, but I think you mean house slippers is what they look like. Should not wear them in public.
They're Skechers. They're comfortable. They I don't know.
I guess you can wear whatever shoes you want. I mean, you earned it at this point, but buddy, I'm telling you, Those things are bad.
Well, let's move on to something important.
That people can see. We've got Dad looking at the. I realized today. I mean, I just kind of the time got away from me, but it's Hall of Fame season at the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. It's induction season.
Next weekend, August 2nd and 3rd, is Hall of Fame weekend.
I know you missed those weekends from when you were the director of the Sports Hall of Fame, don't you?
It was always. I tell you what I do. It's like when I'm watching a football game that goes into triple overtime at night, and it's so entertaining, and then I think about what the sports writers up in the press box are going through on deadline.
We don't have deadlines anymore, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
We used to.
Well, we used to. That's how I feel about this. Is a great class, the class of 2024, but I keep thinking about what Bill Blackwell and his staff at the Hall of Fame are going through right now, trying to figure it out. I talked to Bill this morning. They're already right at 800 tickets sold, and they're capping it at 900 because that's how many people will fit into the Clyde Muse Center.
So that's and I would say probably 90% of that is for Richard DeWeese. That's a rat.
Well,
what's crazy is there's big names in this class. I mean,
huge names.
I'll let you run through them all, but just two off the top of my head: Eli Manning and Jimmy Smith. I mean, those are both. I mean, those guys are, NFL legends. I mean, but I think we were talking off air about the Richard DeWeese contingency.
Oh, well, I mean, if you've coached all the people he's coached in over 50 years of coaching.
Oh no, you're going to say 50. The number is probably higher. And of course, we've had Coach DeWeese on the show before. Good friend of both of ours. Yeah, he's touched so many people over the years that there's no telling how. I mean, it would not surprise me at all if more people are there to see Richard DeWeese than are Eli Manning, which is
that's kind of, from experience of putting these things on, when you get a coach in Mississippi, a high school coach, who's won, well, in Richard's case, he's won more than 1,800 games, more than 30 state championships. When you get a guy like that who's been around for that long, they're going to, people are going to turn out, and that's what we're seeing. But what a class. I guess there'll probably be fewer people there for Red Barber than anybody else, but he's one of the great baseball broadcasters of all time. He's from Columbus, Mississippi, went on to international fame as a broadcaster. We got, as you said, Eli Manning, Jimmy Smith, who one of the leading all-time receivers in NFL history, Savante Stringfellow, who was ranked number 1 in the world in long jumping at one time. That's an untold story in Mississippi, is how many great broad jumpers we have produced, starting with Ralph Boston, Larry Myrick,
Tyler Cleveland. Man,
did you finally got across that 8-foot mark?
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I can't, well, let's not talk about me. It's fine.
We'll round out the list of inductees. Paul Elias, who won the Bassmasters Classic and has been one of the great bass fishermen of all time.
I'm so glad they're finally recognizing after Bobby fought.
My brother, Bobby Cleveland, champion Paul's cause.
20 years? 2 decades?
Yeah, 30 years probably. But he's going in, and he deserves to be in. He's a bass fishing Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I hope it opens the door for more outdoorsmen. And we've had some legends in Mississippi. We're, as well as we do on the courts and the fields. And
the one final person I haven't mentioned, who's certainly last but not least, is Becky Vest, who was a great amateur tennis player and then played the women's pro circuit.
The Virginia Slims Tour. Remember that?
Yeah. They don't name tours after cigarettes anymore.
Especially tennis tours. Pretty incredible. What a time to be alive that was. I think I was born in the wrong time. I think I was born for that era. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, well, we've gone from a chain-smoking golfer to a tennis tour named after cigarettes.
Well, look, man, here's the deal: is in Britain, they think about things a little different, and in America, in the '80s and '70s, they thought about things a little different. So it's just fun. It's fun little things like that. But she was a fantastic player on that tour. I mean, it wasn't like she was just another run-of-the-mill player.
No, she played all the big tournaments, Wimbledon, everything like that. Also, we have a little thing called the Summer Olympics coming up.
So I hear.
And there are lots and lots of Mississippians who we will talk about in the next, I guess the Olympics go for a couple of weeks. We'll be talking about them the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, if only there was a Mississippi-based writer who would put together a list of Olympic athletes from Mississippi and the sports they compete in, and then maybe write something about it.
It's in the works. I'm
sure it is. Well, I'm excited about that. And I think I love the Olympics because I feel like they come along right at the right time. It's like, especially if your baseball team is, basically riding away from the stadium in an ambulance at all times. I couldn't make this up. I forgot to mention it earlier when we were talking about it. They called up that Whit Merrifield guy. I don't know if they signed him or called him up, but he got to Atlanta after the Albies injury before Alvarez did. And he was warming up on the field, and he took a ground ball off of his finger. And had to be taken for x-rays before he ever played an inning. Yeah. And it was like, all right, it's just not happening.
You can't make it up.
No, not at all. So, yeah, I think the Olympics come along at the perfect time, and I have kind of fallen in. Everybody has their sports that they like to watch, and I know you do. You watch a lot of them. Do you have a favorite Summer Olympic event?
Well, I love the basketball for one thing, and Team USA played its last exhibition game, night before last, and barely beat Germany, who won the international FIBA championship last year. So it's not a given, and I'll be watching the women's team.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the one Olympics that I covered in 1996. The women's basketball team kind of stole the show. Mm-hmm. And we had little Ruthie Bolton from McLean, Mississippi was the engine that made that team run. Yeah.
Well, I'm also looking forward to the basketball. I like the I don't know, for some reason the track, the running, specifically the racing, I really enjoy watching. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. What do you think about France? I mean, you've been to Paris. Could you think of a better place for the world to get together?
I think it's a great place, for the world to get together.
I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if there was a capital of the world, I don't know what it would be, especially considering that's old world over there. I know if there's a capital of Europe, it would probably be, Paris or
London.
Yeah, or London, or maybe even Berlin. But I think I'm excited to see what France does. They always do the country specific thing for the opening ceremony and all that. I think France has got a pretty interesting story to tell.
They love to tell it.
I know they do. Almost as much as we love to tell ours, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So are you going to go out on a limb and pick Xander Schauffele to win the gold medal?
I'm glad he's going to play for us. I'll put it to you that way. I'm glad he's on our team because he's hot right now. I mean, we're sending arguably the two best golfers in the world to represent us, so it's hard to feel bad about that. And it's just, it's golf, so you can't just, the best player doesn't always win, the best team doesn't always win. But yeah, I think if I was handicapping us, I'd say we got a pretty good shot with those two going. So
I would think so. Well,
Dad, anything else you looking forward to maybe this weekend?
Not really. I'm God, I want to kind of have low key for a while.
Well, good.
We've been on the road a lot. And
good on you. Things are picking up over at Scorebook Live. We are off and running with the next athletic season with football just, I think, 6 weeks away now for high school football. So we've hit the ground running, coming out with position lists, I should say, prospect lists. I did a fun piece this week with the all-time winningest high school football coaches from Mississippi, both active and retired. Here's a pop quiz for you. There's one guy on both lists. He's one of the all-time winningest coaches, and he's still active on both top tens. Can you name him?
Still active on both. The guy at the private school?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
I don't know. You got me.
That would be Marcus Boyles, who recently
not surprised.
Who recently went from Meridian back to Petal. I talked to him for the story. Says his guys are working hard and he's excited to see what they can do. I was like, well, I guess you've been in it long enough to learn that cliche. They're working hard. All right. That does it for us. That's all the time we got this week. Thanks so much for listening in, everybody. Thanks to the good folks at Blue Sky Studios who take care of us every week. You can read Rick's latest writings over at MississippiToday.org, and you check out all the latest on high school sports at highschool.si.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good one out there.